I guess we better look out because characters in Overwatch got a complete overhaul this week in Warhammer 40k 9th edition news. So let's talk about this and other speculation right after this quick intro.
Okay, you have some skill.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Anyway, this week was a really weird week. On the surface, it looked like we didn't get really much news in the way of new rules for 9th edition. What we mostly got was model paint jobs and that sort of thing from the heavy metal team, which is cool, don't get me wrong. I love that stuff. I like getting inspired of what we're gonna paint and how we're gonna paint it. But in all honesty, who cares? We wanna play the game. I wanna play the game and I wanna play all the rules. So what we did get was actually some crazy news. And that was first off starting with Overwatch. Overwatch has gotten completely redone. I had no idea this is where they were gonna go with Overwatch, but the biggest thing is that not everyone can Overwatch now. What you have to do is spend points off a stratagem to do it. So huge news, titanic news, and Stu explained this as basically just getting rid of frivolous dice rolls, which is totally true, but what this is gonna do to the game is just titanic. It's going to affect massive amounts of armies. We're looking at you, Tau. Now, if you look at the rules, which I'm posting right here, you'll notice that it doesn't say that certain units won't be able to Overwatch. So there might be units out there in the future or will be updated when the edition comes out that will specifically say they get to Overwatch, don't have to spend any points on stratagems, can do it. Now, why this is so important, this gets back to my theory of MSU and elite units going to be the new dominant forces in 9th edition. Take, for instance, you have a bunch of 5-man intercessor squads, followed by, let's make you Blood Angels, and you have a Sanguinary Guard unit as your elite hammer unit. Now what I'm going to do, instead of just charging with the Sanguinary Guard and hoping that you don't Overwatch and kill me, or having a Smash Captain that can't be Overwatched and hoping that he makes it in, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that 5-man intercessor squad, charge, eat up your stratagem, and if they don't make it, they make it, whatever, doesn't matter, because now you won't be able to Overwatch again, and then the Sanguinary Guard can go in and just obliterate. This really puts the onus on the defender on when they're going to use the Overwatch stratagem. They might risk and say, hey, you know what, that intercessor squad's 9 inches away, I'm just gonna hope they fail. And if they fail, I might be able to shoot that Sanguinary squad. So it's gonna be critical that people have a lot of small units that they can use to charge and eat up the stratagem or eat up whatever new Overwatch rules that might be put in place for certain units. So like I said, huge news. I like to see how this goes. I want to know what the units are going to be. Now, when I posted this on Blood of Kittens on the Facebook page, people instantly were like, Tau, we're going to get something. I swear it's going to happen. I'm sorry, guys. I know there's going to be appendix at the end of FAQ appendix that Stu has been talking about, but GW has never, ever, ever been like, here's going to be a 50-page pamphlet letting you play all your models how we think are going to be played in the future. What's going to happen is Tau will have their day in the sun. But guess what? They're going to probably have to wait for a codex for that to happen, or whatever other units that have abilities to Overwatch at will are probably going to have to wait for their codex to have this happen. So I know you want to be hopeful. I know Tau players want to be like, no, they're going to give us a bone. This edition is looking like you're not going to be able to shoot edition. So you have to hold off and hope that the codex comes out for your specific army if it's a shooting army, and hope that they fix this and make Overwatch more of a reliable thing for specifically shooting armies. But like Stu said, this is also about getting rid of tons of dice. So it's a true point that he made in the 40k Daily. I don't want to spend my day taking a bunch of slugger shots and hoping that they hit and hoping that they wound on 6s, but we'll have to wait and see. And the other big faction that might be really hit hard on this, just a really quick aside, is that Imperial Knights. If Imperial Knights don't get any way to Overwatch continuously, this is going to really hurt them, because they're going to get not necessarily tied in combat, but it means that assault units that are dedicated to kill them are more likely going to make it in. So that was the really big titanic news of the week for rules, except for we got hit with a little sneaky rule bonus, and that came in the faction focus article for Sisters of Battle. And it was really kind of a sly way of GW being like, hey, it looks like people are not really reading these focus faction things because they're basically fluff pieces about rules we already know from 8th edition that really are just kind of boring and pointless. But at least they get playtesters to write, a paragraph about it. So at least playtesters get to do something. But anyway, in the Sisters of Battle faction focus report blog post, we got the new rules basically for characters. And this is massive again. So let me post them up here and then we'll get right into it. So as you can see from this rule, Lookout Sir is going to dramatically change how characters interact on the table. As you can see from the rule as well, there's a lot of verbiage there, a lot of Games Workshop-y kind of weird grammar choices that they make, where power gamers are eventually going to figure out how to completely exploit it by taking Demon Princes in a figure 8 formation in order to never be hit. But until that point happens, let's just dive right into exactly constructively how this rule is going to work. The two big things you want to take away here is that you have to be, if you're a character, you have to be 3 inches away from whatever the qualifier is, a monster, vehicle, or a unit that is greater than 3. So what this means is that it's going to be the onus of the player deploying the character to be mindful of where it's being placed. And while this doesn't sound that different from how it is played before, you no longer can be using weird angles in order to gain an advantage of not being hit. It's going to be up to you as the player placing the character to measure out 3 inches to see if you're within range of certain things. Now, the other important thing is, once again, this 3-man unit thing. It means no longer do 2-man drone units fly around. It means, so small units will not be affecting characters the same way, which also brings up a weird thing. What happens with Honor Guard, Victrix Guard, all those units that are specifically small, but are also able to take bullets for characters. How are they going to be changed? We don't know. If they're going to be changed, maybe the rule will just stand. It still works. It's fine. But like I said, the big thing here is to cut down on weird angles, make characters much more targetable, and I think it's great. It's fantastic. No longer am I going to have to be like, well, no, I think that unit is closer to that character, blah, blah, blah. This is the reason why I should be able to shoot it. Now I just measure my character 3 inches away from whatever needs to be measured away from, and hopefully he will not be targeted. So placement of your character is going to be much more important and much more strategic. It also means that you're going to have to clump up your characters in a certain way in order to protect them, which is also good because it gives you a choice. It gives your opponent a choice, being like, oh, I'm going to box in their characters over here. And the other good thing is that you're going to be probably doing this anyway because most aura powers are within 6 inches, so you're just going to do that regardless. So overall, this is a good rule change. It is clunky. The grammar is very strange. And I'm sure that, like I said before, someone will find a loophole and exploit it, and GW will have to FAQ again, and blah, blah, blah. The cycle of GW rules life goes on. Anyway, let me take a break here. Take a breath. Sorry, break. I only take a break as well. Anyway, so let's take this all together to get a synopsis of what we know so far and where I think things are going with 9th edition. And I made an article about this, go figure, and it is linked in the description below. So after you're done liking, subscribing to this channel, you will be able to go read that article and find out why I think assault armies are looking pretty nice right now. And I go into a bunch of details on why that is the case, but Overwatch, the tables being smaller, terrain, even with like things like blast and vehicles being able to go into combat, kind of gives a hint that GW is like, oh, we need to compensate because we're about to make assault armies and dedicated close combat much more deadly, making the game look a little bit more like Age of Sigmar, which in this context is a very good thing. So please go read that article. And like I said, I think already before, like 2 seconds ago, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I think that's all I got for today, guys. So anyway, enjoy. Let's hope that 9th edition comes much quicker. Hopefully, I think the target date is July 25th, so let's hope that GW sticks to that. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.